This is All India Radio. In the program Spotlight, now we bring you an exclusive interview with Kiren Gitte, Chief Electoral Officer, Tripura, on preparation of Assembly election. The interviewer is Manas Pratim Sharma, AIR correspondent.
Good evening, listeners. As you know, Tripura is going for a single-phase poll on 16th of this month. To speak more on this evening we are joined by the Chief Electoral Officer of Tripura, Mr. Kiren Gitte. Sir, welcome to All India Radio, this special episode. Mr. Gitte, would you please tell us how is the preparation going on to ensure peaceful and error-free polling in Tripura?
Tripura Assembly elections are scheduled in the month of February 23. But we have started the preparation for this election since July 2022. So initially we got about 3,000 plus polling stations ready. Then the material required for the election was procured. We brought in the electronic voting machines. Then in the month of November and December the voter list were updated. More than 1.2 lakh voters were added and about 80,000 voters were deleted who are dead or shifted. So that made the voter list pretty clean. After that, we started training our polling personnel, and after declaration of elections, we are primarily monitoring the model code of conduct during the campaigning, the preparations which are required for the electronic voting machines, postal ballots, nomination process, and also security which is being deployed in the state. So overall, last about 7 to 8 months, we have been preparing for these elections, and I am quite sure that we will be able to deliver free, fair, transparent, and a peaceful election, as Election Commission of India has promised to the people of Tripura.
And how far this election will be different from the previous elections?
So 2-3 things we have decided in these elections. One is that this election will be inclusive. So we have targeted all the weaker section of society who were not able to enroll and participate in the elections. Like married women, we had a gap of 35,000 in the state. So we could enroll about say 12 to 13,000 this time. We have been able to enroll quite a lot third gender voters. The primitive tribal groups of Rians and Bru families were enrolled about 14,000. We have also made special arrangements for the voting by the old age people and the person with disabilities in the polling stations by providing the ramps, railing, drinking water facility, waiting shade, a priority queue for such people who will come for the voting, including the pregnant, lactating mothers. We have also provided the home voting facility for the old age people and again the person with disabilities who cannot move. So about 8,000 voters will be voting at their home from tomorrow. We also given the electronic postal ballots to the army personnel who belong to Tripura so that they get these ballots on time and can return before counting. We are providing the postal ballots to about 35,000 polling personnel on duty who cannot vote on the day of poll. So all these people who otherwise would find it difficult to participate in the elections have been contacted, we did an outreach program, and we have made the elections inclusive and accessible. The second thing is regarding the transparency. So during the voter list updation or during our preparatory phase, model code of conduct, deployment of forces, candidate security, we have held several meetings with the political parties at the state level, at the district level, at the assembly level, and we have been able to keep the process very, very transparent and open. We are open to ideas, we are open to their suggestions, complaints, and we are responding. Now, for example, there is an app called as C-Vigil,
right?
So in which we got more than 1,500 complaints, and our response time is less than 100 minutes, exactly 92 minutes. So we have been able to attend to all the complaints and suggestions by the people. We have given an app to the political parties like Suvidha, which helps them to apply for a particular program or campaign. And we have been able to provide 94% permissions to the political parties for their programs. And lastly, I would say that these elections we have targeted that there shall not be any violence. And we will not tolerate any violence in the elections. And we have been able to prevent a lot of incidents, and wherever small incidents are happening, we are taking very strict action so that there is a deterrence in the society that violence will not be tolerated.
Right. As you mentioned, to curb violence, and it is one of the topmost priority of the ECI. So, what is the security deployment? We have seen across the Agartala, even across the state, flying squad and surveillance team have been deployed. How they are working and what is the security management? What is the security deployment so far?
Our priority areas are two. One is those areas which are identified by our district magistrates and SP as vulnerable, so that people living there, they are able to campaign, they are able to vote, they are able to give the polling agents during the elections. So confidence building measures are being taken in those areas. And second is we are trying to stop the illegal transportation of goods, drugs, cash, anything which is an inducement to make the election inducement free, and also to check the movement of the people so that people don't go from one area to other area, commit a violence and then again come back. So for that purpose, flying squads have been set up. There are more than 250 static surveillance teams, Naka points in the state, which are working round the clock. They are provided with the CCTV coverage, and 3 teams are stationed at every Naka point to work round the clock. So about 30 crores cash, goods you have been able to nab in last, say, 20 days. So I am sure that this will help us to make the elections peaceful as well as inducement free.
Right. And as you all know, Tripura also has the reputation of having a good polling percentage. But even though ECI has taken several initiatives under sweep, so these are what are the major initiatives being taken under your guidance to further increase the polling percentage?
Tripura has good percentage of voting compared to other states. But within the state we have did some analysis. That about 929 polling stations are there where the polling percentage is less than others by 4 to 5%. So our officers are conducting a systematic voter education program in these areas and motivating the voters to come and cast their votes. All these model polling stations, women managed polling stations, youth managed, all these are primarily in this 929 so that they are mobilized properly. So we would like to create a new record for Tripura because high participation in democracy will lead to its strengthening. So I hope that the sweep measures, we have a mascot called Votu, we have a separate logo for these elections, we have a sweep song. Now Main Bharat Hu, a song by Election Commission is also has been released, so which has found a very good traction among the people. So the proactive approach of the Election Commission, I am sure, will lead to more participation, and Tripura will reach newer heights as far as the electoral participation is concerned.
Right. And coming to the day of polling, what will be the special measures that will be taken on the day of polling for senior citizen, divyang, or in general voters?
See, there will be a silence period of say 48 hours before the polls,
right,
and that will help the voters to make up their mind and do conscious voting. And followed by that, we will make the areas free of any intimidation and any threatening or any inconvenience for the voters. There will not be any people who are from outside staying in these areas. As I said, polling stations have been provided with ramps, water supply, electricity, waiting shade, special queues for the senior and disabled people. And at the same time, we also offer the wheelchair services for those who want to really come to the polling station and experience the voting there. So we will be making all the security arrangements, then model polling stations which will have attraction amongst the voters to come and see the festivities. So overall, we will make the elections a very pleasant experience for the citizens of Tripura.
Right. And as you know, the cases of insurgency has been drastically reduced in Northeast, also in Tripura. But even though, because we have border countries, international countries, and we have states having borders with other states. So what special measure that will be going to take on that day?
In the border areas of Tripura, we have already promulgated Section 144 CRPC called as Jama Bandi in about 1 kilometer from border. We have kept the border security force on high alert. There are some small openings in the border in some areas which are being guarded with more intensity. We have also put the CCTV cameras in those opening areas so that there is no transportation of persons and goods from these opening border fencing. And as we know that the insurgency is on the downside, but we are not taking any chances.
Right.
So we have given more security to the polling stations which are in the border areas. There are some families who stay outside the fence but within our border. For them also we have made special arrangements for voting. So overall we are very sensitive as far as the borders are concerned. But with the security blanket in place, I am sure that we will have a very peaceful election in border areas also.
And how the technology is going to help you on the day of polling or overall in the poll scenario?
The Election Commission is very tech savvy. Starting from the voter list, we have ERO-net, we have e-Vigil for the voter complaint, we have Suvidha app for the use by the political parties for their permissions. We have e-Atlas to map all the polling stations, the movement, their routes of travelling of EVMs and polling personnel. We have a poll day monitoring system which will help us in knowing the activities happening at the polling stations, like voting percentage or poll started, and then if there is any replacement of machine and all that, critical events will be reported from that. We also have a voter helpline set up in every assembly constituency so that any voter who faces inconvenience can contact there. So we are very tech savvy. Our entire voter list is on the app. Voter helpline is there. They can just put their name or EPIC number and they can find out the polling station also. So we are very heavily using the technology to make the elections transparent and open.
Right. And coming to the voters awareness, Tripura has a good number of first-time voters even this election also. So what's your plan to those first-time voters or young voters?
We have released a sweep song called as Power of 18 and every vote counts. So we would like to appeal to the youth of Tripura that come and vote in large numbers because the future belongs to you. You have to manage the future, you are the leaders of the future and you must have a say in the democratic process. So we have been able to enroll not only the 18 plus but we have been able to enroll about 7,000 prospective voters. Those who are just 17 plus, and in this year they will become 18. So we are doing outreach program. We have electoral literacy clubs in all the colleges which are helping us to reach out the students. So overall, we are sure that the young generation will participate more enthusiastically in these elections.
Right. And finally, would you please tell us what is your plan? What is your plan of action you are going to put in place for the day of counting?
Counting will be held in the subdivisions and district places. We have sent the proposal to the commission with the location, the justification. There will be counting observers, there will be counting agents by the political parties, and we have some gap between the voting and counting that will allow us to prepare much better. And for the benefit of the people, we would like to do the counting very efficiently, in a very systematic way, and give the results as soon as possible.
Right. And finally, any message to the people of Tripura through All India Radio?
I would like to appeal to all citizens of Tripura to participate in the democratic festival of elections and do not indulge in any violence and do not allow anybody to indulge in violence and discard the violence. In the last Paush Purnima, we have seen that Rangoli Utsav was celebrated by the people of Tripura. More than 2.26 lakh Rangolis were drawn on the theme of peaceful elections. Then on the National Voter Day, more than 3 lakh people took the pledge of peaceful election. So all the citizens of Tripura are very, very politically mature and very sensitive, and I am confident that they will help the Election Commission and our officers in conducting the elections peacefully.
Right. And we have got your valuable time, valuable inputs. Thank you once again, Mr. Gitte, for giving us the time.
Thank you.
You were listening to an exclusive interview with Kiren Gitte, Chief Electoral Officer, Tripura, on preparation of Assembly election. The interviewer was Manas Pratim Sharma, AIR correspondent. This program was produced and presented by the News Services Division of All India Radio. You can listen to it on our mobile app, News on AIR. This program is also available on our YouTube channel, News on AIR Official. You may email opinion about this program at airnsdtalks@gmail.com.